1590. A ship arrives on the coast of what is now North Carolina. The captain is returning to a colony he helped establish 3 years earlier. 117 men, women, and children, friends, colleagues. His own granddaughter, the first English child ever born in the Americas. He steps ashore. The settlement is empty. No bodies, no graves, no signs of struggle, no blood, no weapons, no burned buildings, just silence. And 2 words carved into a wooden post, CROATOAN, nothing else. 117 people gone. And more than 400 years later, nobody knows where they went. This is the Lost Colony of Roanoke, the oldest and most enduring mystery in American history. Welcome to OddMind, where we explore the strangest corners of human history. Today, the Roanoke colony. 117 people, 1 word carved in wood, and a mystery that has never been solved. In 1584, Queen Elizabeth I of England granted explorer Sir Walter Raleigh the right to colonize the New World. Raleigh sent an expedition to scout the coast. They returned with promising reports of a fertile island called Roanoke, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. In 1585, the first English colony was established on Roanoke Island. It failed. Conflict with the local CROATOAN people, dwindling supplies, and harsh conditions forced the colonists to abandon the settlement. In 1587, Raleigh tried again. A new group of 117 colonists arrived on Roanoke Island under the leadership of John White, among them White's own daughter, Eleanor. And on August 18, 1587, Eleanor gave birth to Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. 9 days later, John White sailed back to England to collect desperately needed supplies. He planned to return within months. He would not return for 3 years. White's return was delayed by the Anglo-Spanish War. Every available English ship was needed to fight the Spanish Armada. He could not get back. Finally, in August 1590, 3 years after he had left, John White returned to Roanoke. He was desperate to see his daughter, his granddaughter, his people. He arrived to find the settlement completely abandoned. The houses had been dismantled, not destroyed, taken apart deliberately, carefully. The belongings of the colonists were gone, their tools, their supplies, their personal items. There were no signs of panic, no signs of violence, no graves, no bodies, no indication of what had happened or where they had gone. The only clues left behind were 2 carvings. On a fence post, the letters CRO. On a nearby tree, the full word CROATOAN. White had arranged a signal with the colonists before he left. If they relocated voluntarily, they would carve their destination. If they were in distress, they would add a cross. There was no cross. White believed they had gone to CROATOAN Island, a nearby island inhabited by the friendly CROATOAN people. But storms prevented him from sailing there. He was forced to return to England. He never found his daughter. He never found his granddaughter. He never found any of the 117 colonists, ever. In the centuries since, historians and archaeologists have proposed dozens of theories. Theory 1, assimilation, the most widely accepted possibility. The colonists may have voluntarily joined the CROATOAN people, adopting their way of life, intermarrying, and surviving. Some early European accounts described meeting Native Americans with gray eyes and European features in the region, but no definitive proof has ever been found. Theory 2, massacre. Some historians believe the colonists were killed by hostile Native American tribes in the area, particularly the Powhatan Confederacy. Chief Powhatan himself reportedly told English colonists decades later that he had ordered the destruction of a group of people who had been living with a neighboring tribe. But whether those people were the Roanoke colonists remains unconfirmed. Theory 3. Starvation and dispersal. Drought records from the period show that the late 1580s brought one of the worst droughts in the region in centuries. The colonists may have scattered, some joining Native American groups, some attempting to sail back to England on their own, some perishing in the attempt. Theory 4. The abandoned settlement was deliberate. Some researchers believe the colonists planned to move inland, possibly already living with the CROATOAN people by the time White returned. The careful dismantling of the settlement, with no signs of panic, supports the idea that the departure was not sudden, not forced, but chosen. In recent years, archaeological excavations have offered new clues. In 2012, researchers re-examining a map made by John White himself found a hidden symbol beneath a patch that had been glued over the original. The symbol appeared to mark the location of a fort far inland from Roanoke Island. This discovery suggested the colonists may have relocated deep into the interior, not to Croatoan Island. In 2015, the First Colony Foundation, excavating a site called Site X, found European artifacts dating to the late 1500s, including a fragment of a metal gun barrel and pottery consistent with Elizabethan England. But the site was badly disturbed. Definitive proof remained elusive. In 2020, further excavations at Croatoan Island itself found additional Elizabethan-era artifacts consistent with English settlers living among the Croatoan people. The evidence is tantalizing, but still not conclusive. 117 people, over 400 years of searching, and still no definitive answer. Of all the mysteries surrounding Roanoke, perhaps the most poignant is the fate of Virginia Dare, born on August 18, 1587. 9 days after her birth, her grandfather sailed away. She was the first English child born in the Americas, and she disappeared before she was 3 years old. Virginia Dare became a legend. In the centuries after the colony's disappearance, she was romanticized, mythologized. Poems were written about her, novels, plays. She became a symbol of the American frontier, of innocence lost, of the dangerous gap between the old world and the new. Whether she survived, whether she grew up among the Croatoan people, whether she perished in the drought, whether she sailed and drowned, nobody knows. She exists in history as a name, a date, and a question. The first English child in America, and among the first to vanish from it. The Lost Colony of Roanoke is more than a historical mystery. It is a reminder of how completely the past can erase itself. 117 people lived, breathed, feared, and hoped on a small island off the coast of what would become America. They built homes. They had children. They carved a word into wood, and then they were gone. We have spent over 4 centuries looking for them, and what we have found are fragments, clues, possibilities, but never answers. Perhaps we never will. Perhaps Virginia Dare grew up with a name in a language her grandfather never learned to speak. Perhaps she is buried under land that has long since been reclaimed by forest. Perhaps the answer has been there all along, in the word carved into a tree that John White found and couldn't follow. Croatoan, Subscribe to OddMind and stay odd.